Hello guys, good afternoon. So I wanted to quickly bring something to just for us to like have a conversation as a community. So there's a viral video about this girl who put her toe. What do they call now your toe now? What's the thumb for feet? Whatever, man. She put it in the mouth of a baby, recorded. Long story cut short, pregnancy and you made a post on it, and I went and learned my comment there, but it might have been misunderstood by one person. So let me not say everybody nobody, just one person may have misunderstood me or aired her grievances against my position. What was my position? Whenever you take a nanny that's a child, I want you to know that no matter what you do for that child, every child wants to live with their parent. They want to grow up with their parent. And even though you've made a big difference in their lives, they usually first wish that their parents didn't need any help. That means that if you go into your community and you go and pick a minor and say you want that minor to be your maid, first and foremost, their initial reaction is that, oh, I'm going to a better life. But when they come in and see the enormous responsibility laid in front of them, much of which they have not been accustomed to, where they're coming from, it doesn't really look like the blessing anymore. So if you feel like I was only helping, I picked this child from the village, I'm trying to help them, that is your lens. That is your point of view as an adult. That's not the point of view of a child. So my point is, we need to stop bringing nannies from the villages and minors. If you want to help them from there, because when you bring them in, there is something that is usually missing in their perspective, which is that you're helping them because they're children. And the fact that the help comes with a lot of responsibilities, waking up early, being responsible for so many things, so many people, so many moving parts, struggling to go to school. If the school says, oh, people should come on a Saturday for an activity, they can't come. If the school says after exam there's an event, they can't go. You change their reality and brought them to town. But it is work first. So I'm saying that to say we need to stop thinking that these children see that we are helping them. They don't see. They don't always see that. Now, having said that, I was telling my children in the car just now that there are two categories of people in this world. Two categories of people when they're going through difficulty. The one who is resilient and can see the good beyond the challenges, and the one who disregards the whole process. I'm just speaking big English. I don't ever get two children, two different kids. Not two different kids. I've had two categories of kids live with me. So first and foremost, I will not pick a minor like that. Like I can't go and pick a child that is maybe 10, 11 to come and live with me. That's a baby. So when you're having expectations on some of these nannies, put their age to the age of your children and see what you're expecting. Are you expecting that just because they're disadvantaged? Because if you pick a child like that, even you should know that you've carried an extra burden of another child to nurture, another child to teach, another child to raise alongside your own. So let me not digress too much. Two categories of people in this world. Two categories of kids I have raised in my home. The first category, they show up in your home. They know you're making a difference, but they still prefer home. But they look back and say, home will not take me where I want to go. Here will take me where I want to go. And so they will adapt. When you correct them, they will adapt. When you teach them, they will adapt. They will make mistakes, but their heart is right. Those ones, you pray to God to bring them for you. For example, I have mostly done that with, for example, I went to adopt a child one time from an IDP situation. Moved from Boronu to Adamawa to Yobe, ended up in Jos. So her father gave her to us because God told us a long time ago that we should not look for maids. We should look for children that will foster. So my husband and I always bring in children to foster them. Fostering them means that you raise them like big sisters to your children. People who know me know this principle. I never have maids. So when I bring in a child into my home, I reckon that I'm going to be raising them. I'm going to be teaching them from scratch. And I'm going to be realistic. That means if their school wants them to come out for something on a weekend, I will let them go. because I want them to see that there are children in my home. Now, that first category of children, they will cry, they will feel bad. Even on their birthdays, you bake them a cake, they're really happy. But at the back of their minds, what they want first is the stability of their own families. There's a thing called Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs that shows how much people want family and security, where family gives them security. And in study about sexual abuse, sometimes you learn that even children that were sexually abused or physically abused prefer to hold on to parents, no matter how broken it is. So even in being kind to them, don't expect them to think that you're the alternative to their parents. You would never be. Always give other human beings the right to exist in their thinking and in their perspectives, and see how you adapt. So even that first category of resilient kids, they still wish they were with their parents. And I recognize that even my kids will feel that same way. There's a second category of people. They cannot think past the disadvantage. They can't think about past the work. They can't think past about the suffering. People in that category, they will drive you insane. They can do wicked things to your children. So what should you do? Don't bring them in when they're too young. They can't think through that this is a difficulty, but good is on the other end. They can't think through it. All right? They can't think through it. Don't hire them. I say they cannot process the change. Don't bring them into your homes. And don't bring them into your homes as minors. These kinds of people, even if you hired them or brought them into your home at 19, at 25, they cannot think past, now suffer, they suffer. So don't bring them. And you will know when you bring them into your house. Bring them into your house for a week or two, see their reaction, and send them back. Because everything, even correction, is punishment. This is punishment. Everything they see it as punishment. They can't see the good. When you hire those kind of people, they're not okay. So first and foremost, remember I said the ones that are calm and collected, even they still prefer to be with their parents. They still prefer the order that would come if they were in their homes. So think about the good ones still feel like that, let alone the bad ones. No, they are not the bad ones. The ones that are not adaptable, the ones that cannot think things through. I've also had my fair share of experiences. Do you get? So what do I recommend to parents? Number one, stop leaving minors with nannies at home. Take your minors to the crèche. Take children who can walk and talk to the crèche. Stop leaving them at home with someone. The risk is too much. Leave your children at the crèche. Then secondly, some of us are not doing well at all. Like I said earlier, when you bring in a minor into your home, you brought an extra child. If you're not ready to parent them, don't bring them into your home. If you're not ready to parent them, don't bring them into your home. And if you're parenting them, you can't give them all the responsibility you're putting on them. You can't give them all the expectations that you have on them. All the supervisory things that you want a 12-year-old from this thing to do. You want them to remember when the gas expired, when the oil, when the this, when the soup, when the this. At what age? From what home are they coming from? So I'm saying that to say that we're setting ourselves up. And then finally, some of us bring them into our homes and we treat them nasty. When we see you, we see the difference between your children and them. In fact, they can't use the same cutleries that your kids use. What human being will live in your house innately aware of the discrimination, innately aware that they are subhuman to your family, and you think your children will be safe with them? Honey, your children cannot be safe with them. My name is Irene Bango. I'm a girls coach. I came out to put this out there because these issues are mostly happening between mothers and female nannies. Female nannies are people too. But I've told you there are two categories. That the resilient ones that will adapt, and that the other ones that everything for them is suffer. Pay attention to the one in your house. And if the one that keeps saying that, thinking everything is suffer, send them back home. Care for them from afar. Pick the ones that have a heart, resilient, adaptable. As I'm talking to you, I've had 3 resilient children like that. And there's none of them that I carried at 14. Oh. I'm talking about 16. Yeah, we went to just rehab 16. My amazing girl. And I don't have maids. I have foster children. If you're not ready to parent them, don't bring them into your homes. If not, you're setting your children for disaster. We discriminate against them. Our children discriminate against them. Your children treat them like scum. And somehow, you manage to think that their head will be okay. No, they will not be. Remember, I don't have all the perspective. So I want to also hear, where am I missing it as well? Let me learn. But me, I'm talking to you from at least 12, 13 years of raising 5 children. One of the kids that is my first foster son works for an IT firm, is an app developer. He moved from my house. The second foster child I'm super proud of is reading health education in a university in Maiduguri. I'm not the one funding her university education. She went back to her parents because for that particular child, when terrorism happened in her state, their family was scattered. Their father was here, their mother was there, the siblings were here. And when she moved into my house, no matter the kindness we showed her, she couldn't think past the fact that their once orderly family had become scattered. I took her to go and see a therapist. I took her to go and have a session with Coach Sam Obafemi. And she was looking for stability. I think she came into my home in August, and we're looking for a good school to send her to, a good public school to send her to. So I was looking at class size. I was living in Lugbe, and I put that girl in Wuse too. We were spending, is it 800 naira or so a day? Because I wanted her to be in a school where the crowd was not too much. Teachers would know her, and it would be, you know, something qualitative. So while we're waiting for her to know the bus route, she started having panic attacks. She couldn't cope. She would sit down and she would be in my car. She would have motion sickness, wants to puke, and puke sometimes. The thing is, you have to imagine that your child, we're not wishing for evil, but think about how if things turned around, it will not happen for you, and your child was in a situation where they were not with you. How would you want their helper to relate with them with all the exposure that you have? I want you to think on this. Love you, girls. I want to say love you, girls. Love you, mamas. Leave me a comment. Talk to me. Let me know. I want to start doing small videos like this on everything and anything relating to girls. See you guys.